All right, so we'll kick this off. Well, everybody, it's another Sunday. It's episode 7. We're 7 episodes into this damn thing.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, episode 7.
We've hit some
And the guys are
milestones.
supervised.
Yeah.
Well, the guys are supervised tonight. Ashley is supervising all of us, as always. That's what
Mhm.
officers do. Finally back.
True.
So, but we also have our special guest tonight, Mr. OnlyHeRose. All right, Mr. Adam Levine himself. All right, Mr. Adam Levine himself. And if y'all don't like it, I will post a picture on Twitter. I will pick stitch it.
There's
The
no
difference.
picture that no. The
It's gonna
only
go down.
coincidence is we have a similar haircut and we have tattoos.
And you're hot as fuck.
I don't know. I mean, your face shape is pretty similar.
He's a handsome man. I'll say.
I appreciate it. You guys are making me blush.
I'd do him.
That's what we
Oh
do
my
here. We make
goodness.
people blush.
Mhm.
So, but anyway, Mr. Rose. All right, you'll probably hear me refer to him as Kev. I've known this man for
Years. man.
years, since like
When did
Blackout days.
Blackout come
It
out?
was-
When did Blackout come out?
Yeah, it was not too long after Blackout
Like
came out.
2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was hanging out, in streams, found this guy, and I typed in his chat and instantly got VIP'd. Instantly after the first typing. All because of my name. And he got the
Yeah.
reference, which was even the better part of it, because most people
1000%.
don't understand the reference.
Most people think it's canned tuna.
Exactly.
I like canned tuna.
What?
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did for a little bit until I was refreshed of watching the movie. And then
So,
I was
like, last week?
okay.
Didn't we talk about that like 2 weeks
No,
ago?
no, no,
It's
no, no.
enough.
I've seen it before then.
Chicago.
But yeah, so I've known this man for a long time. Kev is one of the most humble dudes I have ever met in the gaming community when it comes to how his stream goes. Always welcoming, and a lot of people get upset. He will end stream if he gets upset. That's how much he cares about it, and the vibes that come from his stream are phenomenal. That's why I love Kev.
Hell yeah.
So,
go.
Kev, I'm going to turn it over to you because spotlight's on you right now. Who you
Oh,
are,
boy.
what you do, what you like, all the things. Give us a full 3-hour introduction, and then we'll just cut the
favorite
stream.
I'm not giving you a 3-hour introduction. I don't talk like that. Favorite color? I don't know. I don't really have one. I'm a mood person. Everything eating, people. I've had to do some research into this because when I was younger, I was super introverted. You couldn't have paid me enough. I mean, I got labeled as some of my closest friends. They called me an asshole in college because I walked around with headphones in and I never talked to anybody. But I was so terrified to talk to people. And then we started bonding. They heard that I was good at Halo. And then they invited me over and I ended up kicking their ass at Halo. And they're like, wow, you're actually cool. We thought you were an asshole. I was like, what? Right, because I didn't talk to you? And I'm like, I'm just super shy. But then fast forward and you get trained on a lot of different things and you learn to become comfortable talking to people. And now I'm more of like an ambivert. So sometimes I charge my batteries, not talking to a single soul. Even the missus is like, oh yeah, he's just in one of those things where he's existing.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets that way too. Or I just want to rage and I want to party. I want to have fun and hang out and be around everybody. So it just depends.
What was
I don't have. What's up?
What was the word you used? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
An
Ambivert.
ambivert. It's
I've
a
never heard
combination.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
It's
had
it's
to.
like ambidextrous, but
Yeah. Which I am ambidextrous
no.
as well. I'm right and left-handed.
Nice.
But I didn't have a term for it because people are like, oh, like, do you like hanging out? I'm like, yeah. Well, do you like being by yourself? I'm like, yeah. And I can recharge my batteries in either way. It just depends on my mood. And my food is the same thing. The missus and I always talk about this, and we have it dialed down. The only food that I can eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, anytime, is peanut butter and jelly. That's it. Any other thing is completely mood related. Like
Mixed with a yoo-hoo.
Okay, what kind
And
of
a
jelly?
yoo-hoo.
What kind of jelly?
Grape or strawberry.
Okay.
I fucking
Yep.
love you
I gotta
already.
go
Oh my
strawberry.
Yeah,
God.
grape.
Grape
Grape or
is the
strawberry.
best.
Yeah, it's so good. But
Yeah,
nothing
the
beats a
Lake
good
Damn.
beats a good peanut butter and jelly.
Oh,
We were
man.
at the
Not-
lake house
not at
this
all.
weekend, and we didn't have any peanut butter, so I had a jelly and jelly sandwich with grape and
Grape.
grape and strawberry jelly.
It was grape on
Okay,
one
have
side,
y'all
grape
ever
on
done-
the other.
You ever done
Grape
peanut
on one
butter
side,
and
strawberry
honey?
on another.
Mm.
Peanut butter and what?
Yes.
Peanut butter and honey.
Mm.
Yes.
No.
Peanut butter and
Oh
honey
my
slaps.
God.
Close
Peanut
to
butter and
honey.
honey sandwiches.
I need to ask you guys this.
Yeah.
Have y'all been trying honey on pizza?
What kind of
No.
pizza?
What kind of pizza? Yeah.
Okay, because lately something in like the whole Prox chat with Warzone 2, I'm always messing with people. I'm asking them like
Yes.
pineapple
Yeah.
and pizza, and they're like,
Oh, yes.
"Oh, f no, yes, no." They're
I
like,
love
and
it.
then one guy was like,
Yes.
"Actually, dude, have you tried honey on pizza?" I'm like, "What the shit?" I'm like, "What is honey on pizza?" Thanks, love. And he's like, "Dude, you got to try it. If you like the sweet with the salty mix, which I'm a huge sweet head, he's like, you got to try honey on pizza." I'm like, then my brain just starts going in all these different directions. I'm like, I've never tried it, so I was just curious.
I'm a fan of sweet, salty, spicy,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
everything. Oh man.
I could,
Yeah,
I could
Sweet
try
and
that.
savory is so good.
Sweet,
like some
savory.
chocolate covered bacon or something.
Oh yeah, candied bacon. You know what I just tried?
Candied
I
bacon
saw
is
it.
phenomenal.
My significant other is Mandy. Her name's Mandy. So she sent me this TikTok, and I don't know if you guys have seen this guy. He's hilarious, like his little quips and how he does things. But he's sent these different foods things to try, and so she sends it to me. He takes a s'more, and then he takes those Toll House like quick bake cookies, the ones that just come in the little squares already cut, and you just take a butter knife and cut them and put on it. But he takes that, and he takes the 2 or 3 of them, molds them into a tent over the s'more. You put it in an air fryer at 350 degrees for 8 minutes, and it's a smookie.
I saw this
What?
tweet. I saw the tweet.
It's one of the greatest things that I've ever tasted.
I just told my son
I'm excited about
this
this.
weekend that we should make
all you-
s'mores, but with on
Dude, just
chocolate chip
do it.
cookies.
Go to the store and get those Toll House. You know those the yellow things, and then just take. I get the 40, the mini count, because they're easier to mold. They're not as thick. That's
yeah.
what she said. You know what I'm saying?
He knew that was
But then
coming.
you take 4 of them and then just make a little tent over it and put it in an air fryer for 8 minutes at 350. Thank me later with like a s'more, and just put it over the marshmallow. It's like a little dome.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my
excited
God.
about this. I'm doing it 100%.
So
Oh,
my
it's so
favorite,
good.
my favorite,
Just go
my
look at
favorite
his tweet. It's he literally tweeted it.
My
Sorry.
favorite
yeah.
combination is potato chips and chocolate. So you could literally like take like salty potato chips
Yeah.
and just dunk them
Yeah.
in chocolate, like, and that would be like my
Ooh.
favorite mix.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm. Potato chips and chocolate.
Or what-
Have you had
yeah,
the
but what kind
Reese's
of potato
Big Cups
chips?
with chips in it?
What?
Ooh. I had those.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
big Reese's fan. I'm not a big peanut butter person.
no.
What?
Ooh.
If they made it with
Leave
almond
this
butter,
chat.
I prefer almond butter. I don't know. I'm just not a big
I
fan of
mean,
peanut butter.
Really? That's okay. It's more for us because Reese's are
Have
some
it.
of my favorite candies
Hey,
ever.
I'll eat
Facts.
Reese's. It's just not my favorite.
It for me, it's all about the Butterfingers. I
Really?
don't know why.
Never-
Butterfingers are my thing.
dude,
You want to
butter-
bring them out of your teeth for 40
Yeah.
minutes?
Butterfingers and Twix.
You gotta
I
brush
don't
your
That is
teeth.
the way to my heart.
I'm
You
just,
gotta brush
I'm
your
just
teeth
call you
after that
Bart
shit.
Simpson from now on, Tuna. I'm just calling you Bart. Bro.
I love
Bartholomew.
I love Butterfinger, but damn, that shit's fucked up on the teeth. You know?
Yeah,
So,
it's oh man.
Before we
I've
go
never liked peanut
crazy,
butter.
before we go
Alright,
crazy in this chocolate and peanut butter and all this other bullshit,
Food.
Kev,
Yes, I didn't even finish explaining anything.
Oh,
I
Sorry.
need your introduction, sir.
Yeah. a little off.
Oh, we
I'm
got ahead of
sorry.
ourselves again.
Yeah, we
I'm
did.
ADD. Tuna, you know this.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So quick overview. I've played video games, first-person shooter since I was since GoldenEye and N64, and I've been a hooper since 5th grade when I would literally shovel off my driveway and imitate Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, and that carried me through everything pretty much. I was able to play college and professional, and then I do like skill training now. I've worked with NBA players down to like little tykes. I do project management stuff in my like professional career side of things, and then I've been streaming on and off. Let's see, Blackout really launched me because I had no idea that there were things like such as Twitch, and a couple of my closest friends are like, dude, like you're always helping people and like bringing along randoms, like you should stream. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then at first I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then they encouraged me, and then I won a couple tournaments, constantly placed against like Scummin and Otter and all those guys, those big names that, and I became friends with Joe Woe, and we were kind of coming up, and then personal life kind of took me in a different direction, and I had to retire from streaming for like about a year and a half, and then Mandy encouraged me to go back to it, and I've just been doing it for the last handful of months, and it's been going well. And just trying to balance that. We have Mandy has a 10-year-old son who's my stepson, and then I have a 3-year-old, almost 4.
Nice.
So we just went and saw the Flash movie tonight. They're like huge Marvel DC heads like us. And
show me your mouse.
Oh yeah, y'all want to see my.
Well, quick, how was it in
Oh
your
my God,
opinion?
I love it.
Good, bad, and different.
Yeah, it lights up.
I love
That's
it.
cool. That is
And
cool.
it lights up.
The
Lights up
Iron
when you
mask,
push the button.
Iron Man mask. That's
Iron
really
Man's
cool.
my favorite. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's DC. It doesn't compare to Marvel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're two
But
different worlds, you know. They have to. Be.
It was fascinating. It was an interesting storyline. But I'm also one that, unless it's absolutely god awful, you're not going to hear me say a negative thing about it. Like I'm just that kind of person. I go for the experience of watching a movie. I'm not sitting there with my damn notepad and like a magnifying glass, like, oh, this script should have been different. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I just go for the experience. I thought the storyline was pretty cool and how they incorporated certain characters and everything. But enjoyed it. But now we go boating. We're getting ready to leave from Mexico Tuesday morning for Mandy's cousin's getting married, so we're going down there for a week.
Cancun?
No, what? What's it called? Isla Meredes or something. It's right off of Cancun.
You sure you're not leaving Sunday morning?
Nope. No.
Are you sure you're not stopping here first?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh, I get that enough. Tuna's like, when you coming down here?
No. I mean to come get me and take me with you.
Need a ride, please, sir?
You have a spare suitcase to put me in, right?
That's true. Yeah. No, because the dang, what's it, $70, $80 for one of those?
Oh, I'll pay baggage. I'll pay baggage.
She said, I'll pay the excess baggage fee.
From Louisiana this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll see.
You were on Toledo, right?
Sam Rayburn.
Rayburn. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
That's where my daughter's at right now.
She will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yep. Tomorrow.
Yeah. My grandparents have a lake house on Rayburn.
Oh, yeah.
I remember you telling me that in Rayburn Country, wasn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
Rayburn 100.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kev, I will tell you right now, the second that you and Mandy say that y'all are going to New Orleans, you will have double dates every fucking night.
Oh, yeah.
Because we will go down there and show you everywhere to go.
We normally, I mean, generally during the summers, we just go out on our boat like every weekend when we have the kids, or like we do some like intermittent trips through spring and like the winters when we travel. But we normally, like when we go places, we get up early and we don't go to bed until late, because we just you travel for a reason, not to sit
too
there
old
and
for
lay
that
around
shit.
watch TV. No, you're punk, but it's coming out. If we're coming down there, we're exploring.
Yeah.
So actually, here's my take, babe.
Oh boy.
I know you're gonna be down because she didn't care. We're gonna be in Baton Rouge within the next 3 months, which is a stone's throw from New Orleans.
Well, you guys are northwest corner or northeast
Yes.
corner?
Northwest.
Okay.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally about every bit of a 4-hour drive to get to Baton Rouge or whatever
From
From where we are.
almost 5 hours from New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
But our puppy's going to need heart surgery down there.
Oh,
And
geez.
LSU has the cardiologist.
Oh, okay.
we
Well,
make a trip out of it.
Shoot me some dates and I'll chat with the head honcho. We'll see what we can swim.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
We like to travel, avid travelers and stuff, and just like to live life. We don't do a whole ton of material stuff. We're big into our faith, and we like our kids to experience stuff and
Nice.
things that we can take with us. Not just the material shit, because that stuff is fleeting. But
Memories.
experiences with your kids and family and stuff is what we feel like that it's about.
Yeah.
So
I always like to say memories over mementos.
Absolutely.
Very good.
So
100%.
Kev,
Would agree with that.
with
What's up?
with what you just said, Kev, right? Talking about your faith, and this is going to be a good segment into how did you come up with that name?
Only He Rose?
Yep.
Me being a Christian, and I'll say this, and especially in our societal climate, the term Christian comes with a lot of predisposition, baggage of like judging and everything. Our family is one of acceptance and love, and because we're Christ followers, we look at it as like Christ loved everybody. I mean, one of his main disciples, Mary, was a thief, a prostitute, a martyr, like all that stuff, and he still loved her. So who are we as people to judge individuals of different ideologies or different things? We just love. It doesn't mean we have to agree with it, but we love them for who they are. Right. And so with the Only He Rose of being Christ is the only one and like our faith is the only one that's conquered the grave. So that's where only He rose. He rose for us. He conquered death so that way we can have an eternal life after our measly little human existence here. So that's where it came. I was randomly, and it didn't even have anything to do with video games. I don't know if you guys know anything about the NBA, but Kyrie Irving, the point guard, this is back before he went off the reservation, but I had a pair of his shoes, and I have never ordered custom shoes ever. And I ordered a pair of his, and I remember they were white, and then due to sun exposure, like it would cause them to glow. But I customized it, and I was like, I want to express my faith and do something that, because without God, I wouldn't have had the success that I've had in my basketball career. So I just wrote inside the tongue of it, like the customization, Only He Rose, and it stuck. And then when I wanted to rebrand because my name used to be Kevin Jr., and so I was like, you know what? I want to do something. Like I've been given these God-given talents to play video games oddly, and so I was like, I just want to glorify that and how to spread my faith and like just to stimulate conversation. Even if people don't agree, I'm always open to conversation. That's when my gamer tag was like Only He Rose, and then kind of just took off from there.
I like that. I feel like the same kind of way, because mostly I would call myself Christian, but more so like non-denominational, but maybe kind of swinging Baptist a little bit, kind of a Baptist roots. But I like it the same way, man. The everything you just explained is exactly how I feel about that. Like I can have
That's awesome.
what I want, and how I believe in my relationship, but I don't hate other people for what they are, who they are, what they do. Exactly the same thing, man. It's like just love on them, and that's the best you can do,
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like that about everything now. And I feel like that's a lot of the premise of our podcast too, is that there's so many of us, and we like to have people on here that can have different opinions. And I don't have to have the same opinion as you to like you or even have a conversation with you. And I feel like if more people felt that way, we wouldn't have so much trouble.
Well, I would agree. I think the foundational principles missing are respect, and a lot of people discuss things. They listen to be heard instead of listening to comprehend. And I think that puts a big divide, because across the whole of like even learning to parent my kids and stuff, like I got my program whipped when I was younger and everything, and there was no like emotional quality or like IQ, like the EQ stuff. My parents are like, oh, you're bad, whap. Like when talking with my son and our sons, and it's talking like we speak out of love and like trying to understand, and like we use the terminology of like big feelings. If you're having big feelings, let's just take a moment, relax. Now lately our 3-year-old's been pushing us, because man, is he I tell you, he thinks he's 18. But I think it's still, even when we disagree as kids or they're getting more 2D, it's still understanding like a foundation of respect. And being that I see a lot of it in our society, of that a lot of people have never been heard. So naturally, if you don't feel heard and you're insecure about that, you're going to jump to defensiveness, and then you're going to root yourself into your opinion and be so closed off because your fight or flight is engaged that you don't hear what the other person's saying, even if they're saying like, hey, you're drowning. I don't give a shit. Like the sky's blue. Like they don't care. They just want their point heard. So I've really been working on personally of just trying to slow down and like hear what they're saying. And even today, the missus was like, she asked me not to give our little one of her, like, cause she's gluten-free and dairy, like she's allergic to dairy. And so she has like special little snacks. And I gave him one on accident. She's like, babe, I just asked you not to give him one. She's like, you need to continue to slow down and like hear my full sentences and what I said. Cause I thought she said she was just out of them. But I was like, oh, this is a great learning opportunity that I still need to learn to slow down and really focus on what she's saying. And this applies to everybody. But I wish our society would be more optimistic on what the other person's saying instead of thinking they're just trying to hurt them. But
I think in a way that you're right on that. And I agree with you. And I think part of that too, maybe is those loud vocal people are those people that maybe have never been heard by others. Growing up, living their lives, and they're not heard, so they have to get louder and louder and louder. It's like, now you're hearing me for the wrong things.
Yep. I would say some of the toughest people, the guys in my life that I know they would take a bullet for sure. I mean, a lot of them were military. Some of the toughest SOBs I've ever met. Just having met, like, just grown, and when I say this, grown ass man talks where we can be in tears. And they'll just say, I've never felt empowered. Like I miss this with like the male individuals in my life that I looked up to. They're always like, bury your feelings and all this stuff. I'm like, shit. Like, I've learned through therapy, if you got to cry, you cry. If you want to be angry, you're angry. It's what you do with those emotions that makes your character. And so just learning on how to, I don't know, absorb those emotions and understand them and not run from them. Because I think that's where a lot of that repressed anger comes from, where people don't feel heard. They've never been able to have that outlet and be able to have someone listen to them.
I think you grouped military into that a little bit or whatever. And it deployed or whatever, pre-deployment me to post-deployment me, you can ask Ashley, is different. Completely different. Like my entire mentality is different. And I was a little bit older, at that point, when I did deploy, and I don't show emotion as much as I probably should anymore. Just today. So we are, my old man, 13-year-old dog, 14, we don't know, whatever. We've had him since a couple months before I deployed. We're going to have to put him down. Like
2010.
Yeah, we had him 2010. Yeah, we're gonna have to put him down within. I'm gonna go ahead and say the next week. I've seen his decline for months. Ashley has seen the decline for months, but it just now, within a couple weeks, it hit me. It's like, and I made peace with it. Because they're family. Yes, we're talking about a dog, but
family.
me and Ashley got into it today. We did, because it was a misunderstanding of emotions, because emotions run high, and when emotions run high, people don't communicate that well. And
it's that fight or flight, man.
And I did everything I could to just hold it back. And my escape is coming and sitting in this chair. No matter what I do, I just come in and I sit in this chair. And that's where I do my grieving, whatever it is, whatever emotion that I have. And for me, I know that's a flaw. I need to have it out. I need to talk it out.
Yeah, why do you think that's a flaw?
Because I know that I'm leaving her at that very second.
You're a smart man, dude.
You know what I'm saying? And, but
you're a smart man.
I'm also one of those things, like one of those guys where, like, emotion or whatever, I'm supposed to be the strong one. So that's where my mind kind of conflicts with itself.
So hold on, I agree with you. I heard something recently, and what's crazy is I listened to it. I'm always listening to podcasts, and like I'm a lifelong learner and all this stuff, but especially on the listen. Slow down now, baby. Y'all just launched. Hold on. But one thing is, Mandy and I shared is like we heard this podcast and this lady. And she's asked me this question, if she believes in 50-50. And I said, no, in a relationship. She asked me, she's like, well, what do you think it is? I said, I think it's a constantly a moving amoeba of where it fluctuates based on the day. And there are some days where I can give 100%. And there are some days where I can give 20. And so we shared this podcast where this lady was talking about that she touches base with her husband on, hey, I've had a long day. I can only give 20. And then based on what he says, he's like, you know what? I got you. I can do the 80. Or she's like, there are days where, you know what? I'll say I can only do 40 and he can only do 30. Okay, well, how do we make up that 30%? Let's talk about it.
I just saw that on a TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating podcast.
Yeah.
But
There's
the thing,
short form on it.
I think, Tuna, what like us, especially men our age, is we were taught that like we have to be the emotional stronghold, which means our emotions are non-existent and our emotions don't mean shit, which is wrong. And I think when you have a sound woman that is able to counterbalance you, you're able to divulge to her those deepest, darkest secrets. And women naturally, and I'm not a woman by any means, but what I've experienced by the women that I look up to in my life, they are naturally mother figures. And all they want to do is make you feel safe and make you feel at home. Not all women are like that, just like not all men are great stewards of leadership and that sort of thing. But the right woman, I think you're on the right track, Tuna, of like recognizing that you need to divulge that to her because it allows her to be a mother and be your rock. And then that's that fluctuation of that, you know, the distribution of, it's not just the 50-50. So, I mean, I'm proud of you for admitting that, man. That's not easy as a dude to admit that like our flaws, because all of us have egos. and any ladies watching this, don't you hold this against us. But all of us dudes have egos because we want to be that rock. We don't ever want to be looked at like we're weak. But sometimes it's okay to just lean on your girl and your woman because they can do crazy things. And in the right hands, it's safe and we'll come out even stronger.
Yeah.
So,
it's hard for me when
you.
he doesn't do that. Like when he walked away, like I was in this limbo moment. I was like, I could see it on his face. And so I was like in the midst of going in to like hug him, and he just, without a word, he just walks away and just closes himself off. And that's, so from a woman's perspective, not just him, for any, you know, for any man or whatever, that is a tough thing for us to know that, you know, that there's that sequestration there of yourself instead of allowing us to kind of be there and do what we do. You know, the same thing that you do for us on a daily basis. It's rewarding for us to be able to do the same things. Yeah. And I don't think we get that opportunity quite enough all the time.
Sometimes when things are going in a circle, perhaps sometimes that feeling comes up like, well, I feel like I'm just going in a circle on this. So I might as well just remove myself from it for right now because I'm expending this energy and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. And that happens both sides. Absolutely. But I think you guys touched on the important thing there too, is, you know, it's kind of it's a piece of a leadership talent as well. And that not only goes with organizational, but within a family, is relying on each other's strengths.
Yeah.
And knowing each other's weaknesses so you can be strong where the other is weak and vice versa. And that builds that whole like strong relationship, that pyramid strength. I think that could be there.
Well, I think a lot of people, you know, we just hit 18 years. Right,
dude, that's awesome.
On the 28th of June, like she had surgery on our anniversary.
The day of my surgery.
Yeah,
congratulations.
But a lot of people were like, "You'll never make it." Like everybody wrote us off from the very beginning. You know, because I mean, we had been together for 6 months.
We were high school. We've known each other since middle school, and we didn't date until like late high school. And
but when they say that opposites attract, I truly believe that, you know, because it's not like, oh, we have opposite personalities, because we kind of have some of the same personality, but, you know, in the way that she, you know, what she can do and to calm me down and the things that I can do to calm her down, it's just two different things, because I won't get emotional about something that she thinks is emotional and then vice versa. Yeah. And I think that we play to each other's strengths. And I think that to me, I look at it, you know, every day, and everybody's like, how do y'all do that? You know, and I'm like,
Practice.
We just do. We just do.
A lot of
like
practice.
Like, have we had our knockdown, drag out fucking fights where we wanted to walk out the door and leave? Yes. Has one of us walked out?
A couple hasn't.
Yeah, has one of us walked out the door and went 2 miles down the road just to cool the fuck off? Yes, it happens.
But see, that's a healthy boundary.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You know what we do? The one thing that we do not do, we do not go to bed without a resolution. We do not crawl in the same bed without a resolution.
Don't go to bed angry, man.
Exactly.
It sounds cliche, but it's been instrumental for us, really.
Even if it takes someone, and you guys are in this standoff of like who's gonna take the lead on ending this just argument that's been happening half the afternoon, and one person just has to go, I'm sorry that we had this argument. I'm sorry I spoke and acted the way I did. And then the other one's like, I'm sorry too. And then it's done. A lot of times. It's been there with you guys, the same thing, like yelling match, and don't go to bed mad. Never do it.
Well, and even if it's one of those things where like we could not come to a resolution, we agree to disagree. We talk about it, share both of our feelings, and then we go to bed. Because like in 18 years, how they're like, oh, you're gonna sleep on the couch tonight. Never done that between us. The only time we've ever slept away from each other is when we were on a trip, like a business trip, to where we had to be.
Well, I think
yes, Jay. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Happy anniversary, Jay.
Yeah, Jay's anniversary. Yes. Let's go.
And he's hanging out in here. Go.
Is she hanging out too?
Jay is the OG.
She watches
like 1000% OG.
I firmly believe in the opposites attract, and I also think like-minded people attract. I think it all boils down to how you communicate and comprehend, and then is the foundation of respect there. Because it generally, like whether it be male or female, if you feel disrespected, Lord, do the claws and the guns come out.
Facts.
Like if you feel disrespected, you're like, mother, could try me again. Like, and that's
the same with the man too. Like exactly, pisses me more off.
It's just like, especially men, like because we found a lot of our confidence, and I won't say ego. Ego's kind of like an outlandish word to use for that. Persona, we'll say persona, is founded on respect. If we're disrespected, that is, I don't know. I don't even know how to. That's like the equivalent, I guess, of calling a woman oversized or overweight. I guess it like because
or over emotional.
Yeah, like you're way too damn emotional, or calm the hell down. What are you getting all that? Like calling a disrespecting to the dude has that kind of like that jab in the ribs. Like that. So, but I think anyone can work if you have the right mentality in terms of like, I want to work on this for the other person. And the greatest thing that I learned from my therapist of understanding is like, if you clean up your damn side of the road, it is very obvious what needs to be worked on. But we're so quick to point the fingers out instead of in. And I'm as guilty as anybody of doing that, like where I'll get defensive or I have a hard time, like, feeling comfortable to admit that I'm wrong, but I've come a long way in the last like year or two of like saying, okay, let me clean up my side of the street. Because a lot of times we will passively or indirectly give that person, whoever we're quarreling with, will give them that confidence to say, wow, okay, all right, he's putting his guns down. Like, all right, he's saying this about himself. Maybe I should try it. Maybe it would help the betterment of the relationship. And that's personally between me and Mandy, but that's also been with like some of my guy friends. And then if you clean up your side of the street, I mean, I eliminated one of my closest friends for over 20 years. I cleaned up my side of the street and I realized I was getting taken advantage of. I realized there was a lot of like manipulation and narcissism and all that shit. And I was like, you know what? Here's my boundary. If you don't fix it, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he didn't listen. So I was like, okay. Cold turkey. And he's reached out a couple times, but there's nothing wrong with having a healthy boundary. But I think it boils down to just the respect and just being able to hear the other person.
I think you have to set the expectation clearly. And it sounds like you did.
Yeah.
One of the communication tactics that has really helped us is learning to use expression versus accusation. And a lot of the times, just the way you word things can make the other person very defensive, right? So if you say, you made me feel like, or you did this, versus internalizing it and saying, here's how I'm feeling right now. And it's not, so it doesn't come across as so accusatory as to you did this, you made me feel that way. Here's how I am feeling like based off of what you're saying. So just changing the way you word it can help the other person not to feel so attacked, which I think opens them up to actually hearing what you're saying. And but that takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. And that's just communication, right? Just learning how to communicate effectively with each other. But that was one of the things that really worked for us, is because Tuna can get very defensive very quickly. I use a lot of words whenever I talk. And so a lot of the times he gets lost.
Psych major, by the way.
He gets
so you
lost.
Feel overwhelmed.
Yes, he gets overwhelmed and defensive. And I'm like, why are you getting so defensive right now? And he's like, I don't even know if I remember half the things that you said. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So it's like learning how to take breaks in the sentences in this, instead of throwing 4 things at him at once, let's tackle one thing at a time. But ultimately just making it feel less accusatory and saying, okay, here's how I'm feeling right now. And
I'm not a very smart man.
You gotta unpack it. You gotta unpack it individually, one piece at a time.
Yeah. Well, especially because from the dude standpoint, and guys disagree with me or agree with me, we are fixers. And shutting off that fixer mindset. There's a video out there, and I learned this when I was having to go through training to become an instructor. It's called Nail in the Head. And it's really simple. It's only a couple minutes long, but the woman is just complaining about a headache, and she literally has a nail in her forehead, and it's visual. You can see it. And the guy's like, "Well, if you just pull that nail out," she's like, "You're not listening to me. I have this splitting headache and all this." So it goes around and around. But then the narrator is like, sometimes it helps to just slow down and listen to the person instead of trying to fix the first thing that you hear. Because sometimes people, especially ladies, they just want to be heard. So one thing that I've tried to incorporate, I've done it not as much, but whenever Mandy is like feeling like she needs to vent, I try my best to ask her, like, what do you need from me? Like, are you looking for me to like guide you, help you, be a leader, or you just want to vent, babe? What you need? And we've figured that out. Well, we've gotten to the point now to where I've learned where she's just like, she's told me initially on, but I can kind of feel her vibe on like what she's needing. And sometimes I'll just chill with her and just let her go. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I know you don't want to hear this. And I'll try to validate her. I'm like, no. Like, if this makes you feel better, like, I'm all ears. Let me know if you need me to fix something. But like dudes, like, we just want you girls to feel safe and to feel heard and feel protected. And that's generally where our minds go to. So the first thing you say, Ash, that's what his mind's fixated on. And he's like, this is what I need to fix. And then if you keep bombarding him, then he's feeling overwhelmed because he hasn't quite worked out the plan on how to fix the first thing. And then he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then when us men get overwhelmed, we're like, oh no, the shit's burning down. Like, leave us alone.
And then 6 months later, you bring it up and you're like, wait, what? I don't remember that conversation.
Well, so on that, Scap, Ashley is great about not bringing shit up. Like old shit.
That's good. That's good.
Like she won't, unless we're joking or whatever. And and that's the one thing that, everybody that's followed us for a while, they know that we joke a lot, and that's
like our love language.
Yeah, that's healthy for us, but I think one of my problems, right, and in the way that my mindset is, I've been a cop for 18 years. I am programmed to fix things. So it only doubles, that mindset, and whenever I need to be in that mindset or whatever, she'll be like, oh shit, you just did that, in any situation that we're in. But then when, it becomes a fight, not a fight, but bickering, argument, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever stage we're at in our disagreement, or whatever, it just like you said, it's like I focus on the one thing or whatever, but it's so hard to get out of my brain because that is what I, not only in, as a somebody in a relationship in that role and also my career, it is hard.
You can relate this to leadership as well, because I used to have this same thing with my troops whenever I was active duty. If somebody comes in as a leader, it's important to know when you come in and you sit on my couch and you close the door, I need to know what role, right? Okay, I need to know what role, because as an officer or a senior leader, right, our job is to remove obstacles and help our people. Like, that's our primary job, supervisors, managers, whatever the case may be. So I always had this thing where when you come to me, I need to know, are you just venting, or do you need me to solve something for you? I think that relates to relationships as well. I think that's a handy thing for men to understand. I'm not saying it can't apply to women. This is a very broad, statement, but it's important that I think that's a good skill to have, is to be able to, whenever we go in and we start it, okay, are you looking for solutions? Are you looking for advice? Or are you just looking to vent? Because we literally just heard a TikTok today, babe. Do you remember what exactly it said? It said something about anytime did you save it? We literally heard a TikTok about this today. It was something about whenever you give me logical solutions to a problem that I really just wanted to vent about, or something like that.
No, that was on Yellowstone, wasn't it?
Huh?
That was the Yellowstone quote, right?
I don't think it was on Yellowstone. I think it was in between in an ad, and you were pulled up your phone. I don't remember.
You're giving me logical solutions or some shit like that. You were like, I'm going to use that on you all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't stand it right now.
I don't want logical solutions.
It touches on what Skep said earlier about expectations.
Yeah.
If you go into a conversation or something that needs a solution, it's like you have to understand what the expectations are at first.
So
other than that, you're just going to try to fill the blanks in based on your previous experience with them, or conversations, or their body language, facial expressions, that sort of thing. So having the expectations set, it diffuses the situation.
So
and it allows clear communication.
Yeah, what I do, this is what I get in my day-to-day jobs. I'll get someone that comes up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, Master, if you got a minute." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we come into my office, we sit down. And my first question, in order to neutralize everything, is, what's on your mind? Not, how can I help you? Or, what's the issue? So I'm not presuming there's an issue. I'm not presuming that they're there for my help. I'm there to just find out what they need to say to me. And then as they speak, I listen. I don't ask questions. I don't respond back. I just listen to what they have to say until they give me a question about something. And then I can ask further, depending on what it is. You kind of have to play off of experience. But if you go into it with a neutral line, like, what's on your mind? They want to talk to you. What's on your mind? Or even approaching someone. Hey, how's it going? What's on your mind? What are you thinking about? Sometimes you get I'm nothing, but usually when someone comes to me, it's that, which creates a line of, I'm here for you, whatever it may be. You don't have to tell me right now, but I'll listen to you. And then, you can go into the problem solving if you have to, but eliminating that expectation of what the conversation is going to be right off the front is a lot of times the best way to have an open discussion with somebody.
Yeah.
So I apply this, now that I think about it, I apply this with my daughter as well. There's a good example of this the other day with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's mom is very, Tuna and I are just we're really laid back parents. We're kind of we're not I guess the best example is, I remember growing up, my mom was one of those people that it was like, if she felt like I was spending too much time with somebody, she would be like, no, you can't hang out just because you guys need to take a break from each other. Right. I don't parent like that.
Helicopter parent.
Right. Well, I consider myself.
Oh no, Ashley is the helicopter definition of helicopter.
In a safety person, in a
heli-chopper,
in a safety thing, right? No, what I'm talking about is, so I don't, if my kid asks if someone can come over, unless I have a legitimate reason as to why, I don't say no. I don't just do that. Like, if you want to spend so much time with somebody that you get sick of them, that is your problem. Why do I care? Like, why am I invested? Right. Why am I invested enough to say no, they can't come over because I think you're spending too much time together? That's your fault if you get tired of each other, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just not overly particular about those kinds of things. Piper doesn't understand that a lot of other parents are not like that. And her girlfriend in particular, her girlfriend's mom is very like, one day she's fine with them hanging out, and then the next day she'll let her hang out with everybody but Piper. And it's one of those, her parents are just weird. Like, I'm not even
gonna have friends. I'm curious, does her mom have friends?
No, I don't think that.
That's where it goes.
She's
Piper's
like
encroaching on that friendship.
Yes, she is very attached to her kid. And so, but so the other day, her girlfriend's mom did something that really pissed her off, and she was really upset about it. And I'm like, I'm really pissed off because it's hurting Piper. And so I kind of want to message the bitch and be like, why can't your kid hang out? What did my kid do wrong? Right. But I always message Piper first, and I ask out of respect for her. Like, unless I feel like Piper's in danger, like actual danger, I'm not going to encroach on her relationships and what she wants me to get involved in and not get involved in. So, and even Tuna, he was like, I was messaging her and she was like, Mom, please don't text her. And I was like, I was just going to play stupid. I wasn't going to be, defensive, or I was just going to play stupid. And he was like, and she was like, no, Mom, it'll just make it worse. Don't. And Tuna goes, I would have just messaged her. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that because she'll never trust me again.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to trust me if I don't respect her boundaries. And that was a boundary for her. She didn't want me to get involved, but she was hurting. So I'm like, and sometimes she comes to me with things like that where she's like, I just don't, and she's crying and she doesn't understand why her mom is being, and I'm like, I love you and I wish I could take the pain away and I wish I could help you, but there is nothing I can say that's going to fix it for you right now. But if you need me to take action on something, if you want me to do something, all you have to do is ask. But I never do anything behind her back. And I just feel like that's important to her because I want her to feel like she can trust me with things,
And this is why she opens up to you before she does me.
That's important, though.
Yeah,
that's important to do. Yeah. It's important to be real about things like that. And then also, I think what's helped me is just being transparent, especially with my kids. Like, if I had made a bad decision or mistake, like, I'm okay admitting that. Because it teaches them that, like, I'm a human as well. I'm not perfect, but I'll learn from my mistake, and I'll explain that too. Like, I know maybe I should have been a little more lenient on this. This is me going back to them, obviously, but I should have been more lenient on this and thought through it a bit more before I made a decision based on my emotion rather than thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than the logic.
My thing is like, I was wrong, but this is why I thought the way I did.
Yeah.
And then people still think I'm trying to argue it out. And I'm like, no, I know I'm wrong, but this is why I was wrong.
Yeah. You're just getting real. You're being real and you're trying to get better at it. That's all.
Yeah.
I was just I've never been a because I said so kind of parent. And it's because my mom was that parent. Because I said so. Like, well, that's
I got caught doing that today. And then I saw an Instagram post was like, don't use that.
No.
And you know what? Our 3-year-olds he goes, Dad, why are you just saying because you said so? Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, buddy. I need to explain why. I don't want you climbing on there because you're going to get hurt potentially.
Yeah. I feel like it teaches them something.
And also being that I said, because I said so, that teaches them something as well, because they do need to listen to you right away in case there is something dangerous or something. They need to listen to you right away, because I said, it doesn't matter why I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Yeah.
They need to learn that as well.
But you got to follow up with it though, and explain.
So when I was an instructor or whatever, like, and this was, a few years after the whole scandal bullshit that was going on, and it was all like, oh, request permission to touch and all this bullshit. And I'm like, look, I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, we are a jack of all and a master of none. I was like, we are the infantry of the Air Force. We are also the cops. We just do everything. I was like, and at the end of the day, you might not go home that night.
Yeah.
I was like, so are you worried about me asking permission to touch if it's a life or death situation? Or do you want me to get you out of the fucking situation? And then we'll go through on what exactly happened.
Yeah.
And then you just have these fucking strange looks on everybody's face about it. And I was like, yes, this applies in training too, because I'm setting off pyrotechnics 5 feet away from your face. You know, like there are certain things that are safety features that I'm more worried about your safety than I am, you know, trying to go, you know, take you home to a fucking estranged apartment and doing whatever I want. That's not the way that this goes. You know, and then everybody just kind of looks, and I'm like, that's what we do here. We're not trying to do anything stupid. Like, yes, there are weirdos out there. And if you encounter a weirdo, bring it up. But if it's something where you're like at the end of the day, like, oh, I probably could have gotten hurt, that's not one of those situations.
Like if somebody's about to step out in front of a bus, you're not going to ask them, hey, can I touch you before to pull you away from the curb?
Whatever
dude,
I can get my hands on, grabbing it.
Dude, I legit broke a dude's hand during training, and it was my fault. Like GBS is ground burst simulators is what they're called. I chunked one and it smacked off of a wall and came back, and it was between this dude's feet.
It was like a crash
or whatever,
like a flash grenade or type thing.
So a ground burst simulator, it actually simulates the noise of a grenade.
Oh, so it's just an audio
or a mortar. Yeah. So but they do have TNT in them.
They have a pulse
or whatever. Yes. Okay. So like if it's
good,
if it's between your legs, it will probably blow your nuts off. Like they do pack a little bit of a punch, and I chunked one, and it bounced off the wall. And all I did was just grab this dude by the vest and just smacked him up against the wall when I saw it. And all I heard was a crunch. And he just looked at me, and I pointed right over there, and I was like, now you're going to have kids. You're welcome. And he was good with it, you know?
So it would only blow your nuts off, though, right, Tuna? Because they're not attached.
No, pretty much. I don't have any more balls. My balls are null and void. Here it is. Here it is. Episode 7. We're keeping it up. My balls come up.
If you need to find out if your foundation is level, you just if both the Tuna's nuts touch at the same time, it's level.
Yeah.
And there's something wrong with that because one of them hangs lower than the other.
We went a whole explanation on this.
There's a whole YouTube short on blowing Rebel's mind about why the one hangs lower than the other.
Yeah, I honestly did not know that it was so they could pass between your legs without crushing each other.
There's a teachable moment there, you know.
But I mean, I am the only male that I have ever met on planet Earth. Okay, besides myself, where my nuts fall asleep.
Okay.
Yes. I will get up and I'll be like, I can't feel my nuts. They're asleep. And then I'll get the same tingly feeling, just like somebody's foot.
I don't know if I have that much feeling.
Is that like a ghost feeling? Like someone who's amputated and like feels like their hand's still there, but it's not.
Like when you wake up and you can't move your arm.
Yeah, that's literally how my nuts are.
Yes, let's do that.
And this is hence why my nuts are even, because of that hernia. And I think because of said hernia, now is why they fall asleep, because they're even.
Because they're constantly just.
I guess. I don't know.
It's because they're banging together, bro. Yeah, exactly.
Just two fighters in the octagon. You know?
He's literally busting his balls all the time.
He's busting a nut.
And we just add to it. Poor Tuna.
And this is why my balls are a segment on Hold Fast Outlast.
And
you're welcome.
Clip that.
But yeah, that goes back to that whole, like, I'm telling you to do something right now, we will go over it later. You know, and in situations where it's safety concern, that's where I think it's allowed, you know, and it's Skep AG, you know, being military for a long time, you know, y'all have seen the change. And when we were coming up, it was do the fuck as I say and that's it. Yeah, the Army's still like that, but
it's still kind of like that in the Navy as well. But there's always a post like debrief. Hey, here's why.
There's been a culture shift.
Yeah,
you to where now it's like they teach it in all of our professional development that we do now is like if you're going to do this, you still need to follow it up with this. Sure. So it's like you tell them to do something and then tell them why. The why does not have to be instant, but it needs to come at some point.
I'm pretty sure AG's put his hands on someone before. He was a sergeant and everything, so.
No.
Yeah, right, AG.
You don't get to look like that. Never put your hands on anybody.
Well, the closest thing I've gotten to, I felt pretty official the other day. One of my good friends is, I don't know what his rank is. It might be captain or a little bit.
What branch?
He's Army.
Okay.
And I got a call from a gentleman from the Department of Defense asking to interview me for top secret clearance.
Oh yeah, some of you fuckers are about to get that because I'm about to go. And I was like,
dude, I was like, I feel so cool, man. When you want to meet? And then we meet at Starbucks like last week, and he pulls up this briefcase and he pulls it out and he whips out his badge and it said Department of Defense. I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool, man. I felt so sweet. And then it was a movie. Yeah, exactly. I was like, cool, dude. I want to do your job. And he had like 8 pages of questions that we went through and was like, what was he like in college? What did he do here? Did he do this? I was like, holy shit, dude, you're really going through with a fine tooth comb.
They do.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, he's going to be trusted with some of the most top secret documents and things that we have as a government. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, do you have any concerns? I'm like, absolutely not. He's one of the most trustworthy people I've ever met. I trust him with my life, my son's life, anything. And he's like, okay. And I was like, dude, what do you do normally? And I was just asking him all these like little kid questions because I always thought it'd be so cool to be like a CIA agent or FBI agent, that sort of thing. And I'm always asking like several, I'd say 80% of my buddies are in some form of government contractual work or like a branch of the government. I think one of my friends, you guys know, Tuna, you know Soundproof.
Yep.
He just got moved out to Hawaii, and
that's who we need to get on this fucking podcast. He's a spec ops. He's a spec ops Bubba.
For you.
Oh yeah,
I can make it happen for you. But he oh my gosh, what's above captain? What's the rank above captain?
Major. It's on the branch, but major would be
major.
Army and
that's what he is.
Officer, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's and he does things like. He can't tell us certain stuff, and then I have another friend that.
So he's in the Stargate program. Okay,
I can get him on here if you want me to align that. I can make it happen.
I'll text you.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's super.
I
cool.
love Soundy. Soundy's great.
Yeah, sounds. He's a cool cat. Shoots you straight. He's my brother. And then the other person that is a good friend of mine. You've seen him in the chat, Grekny.
Yep.
He's the other one that, I mean, we all went to college together and we've known each other for almost 20 years. So, but really, really cool dudes. But I felt so sweet walking in there. And I was like, oh, dude, I can't wait to see. And I was really giddy when I saw his badge. I'm going to fanboy. I was really giddy. When he whipped it out, it just looked like the movies and all that crap. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet.
That was like my first time walking into a skiff. I felt kind of special. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like I
did that too.
Did thought ever cross your mind?
My name is right there. I can go in. Like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, even as a government contractor where I work, I have to have a secret clearance because we have to go into skiffs or go into places.
Now, what's a skiff?
We had to go through it.
What's this?
A skiff is like
secure, confidential information.
No electronics. No. It's
okay. So like you literally are off the grid.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Yeah.
Well, they have their own electronics.
It's like their version of Fort Knox.
Well, walking in there,
you have nothing on you.
Right.
No smartwatches. No smartphones. No smart nothing. Nothing.
It's a skiff is a sensitive compartmented information facility.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Because another one of my buddies I've known since I was 13. He was in the Marines for a while. Now he can't even tell us where he goes. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna be gone for 6 months, guys. And we're like, what?
There's-
No Apex? Like sometimes he gets to bring his Xbox or his PC over there. He's like, no, I can't even tell you where I'm going right now. I was like, oh, okay, man. Well, don't die. And we'll see you soon.
There's a movement thing. You can't talk about stuff like that. Like you can't say.
Yeah.
Because he's part of surveillance. I believe.
It puts out information of movement, and that movement is the most one of those things that's very protected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Operational security.
Yep.
Yeah. So I actually started
soundproof also.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 100% soundproof.
Some are portable. Like there's portable ones they make too, which is kind of cool. Pick them up and move them places.
So I start a new job on the 10th, and my entire job will be inside of a skiff.
Well, that's
Mine was whenever I was deployed. Yeah,
it's my retirement job. I get 4 fucking emails a week.
That sounds terrible.
I get 100 emails a day now.
Oh, you'll be going live on Kick then, yeah?
And I no, I wish.
I'm joking.
But yeah, like so that'll like I will be disconnected from the outside world. Like the inner circle of people, like pretty much everybody in this Discord call is also gonna have that work number. Like, hey, if you need to get a hold of me, here it is. Mm-hmm. You know, because that's the only way. Because my phone's gonna be in a little fucking cubby.
Yeah, the little lockers outside.
Yeah.
They don't want you lurking on any Kick stream, bro.
No,
they don't want you in there.
And that tells you something that phones are listening devices and watches.
But this is my retirement job. Like I talked to the guy that I'm taking over for, and I literally get 4 to 5 emails a week. And it's literally just forward. I forwarded the email, and then I sit in a bunch of fucking meetings. That's it. So I'm like, I'm good.
I avoid those places like the plague. I don't like being around them or going to them at all. If I don't have to,
I'll be working.
No.
I'll be working for a 2-star. So.
Oh, that's cool. They don't know nothing.
I think I'm fancy when I go to a place that has a security shack out front. I'm like, I'm
got a library card, or something. Bro.
Shit.
All right, Kev, I'm going to put you down because I'm going for my TS right now. I'm going to put you down just so you can have that giddy moment again.
Yeah.
Bring on OSI.
He's gonna be like, his name is Bumblebee Tuna, and I've loved the guy ever since. So then we're done.
Jim Carrey, so we're tight. You know what I'm saying?
Great. Now all of our stuff's gonna be inspected.
This guy thinks I look like Adam Levine. Can you believe that? Do you trust that person? Really?
You know Maroon 5, Sugar, you know, that sort of thing.
Oh, geez.
I don't. Do you trust his judgment? I mean,
exactly.
Look at me.
Are you guys cool if we do the package opening? If Rebel does that before we hit the break, that way we can get it on the podcast. Is that cool with you?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
So I got something that was from New York. So Merc, the lady Merc 95, had to send it from her place out to Rebel, but I wanted to get something for him that I thought was really cool. So it arrived at his place while he was over at his family lake house working all weekend instead of enjoying himself building a deck. So
like me the past 2 days.
So open it.
What'd you do with Remy while we're waiting?
He's laying down.
Is that Ruger you got there?
Yeah, I got the sick baby.
Oh,
that's Mr.
To see him happy.
Yeah.
No, this motherfucker looks like a Wish.com poodle.
It does. I told you.
Nice.
Take it out and show us what it is there, Mr. Rebel.
Oh, this man, they got me a Go XLR Mini.
What?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Nice.
And a damn.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Shore or Road?
That's a Road.
It's a hybrid.
Pod mic.
Yeah, the Rode pod mic. Hell yeah.
Now I'm gonna be sounding like Skep.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
My voice really sounds like Skep. What?
He's gonna be all warm and fuzzy sounding now.
Uh-huh. Dude, the things that you can do in that Go XLR app, unspeakable. See what I did there?
Bro, I might have to cancel my voice.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I hope you enjoy.
No, don't cancel voice mod. No, don't cancel voice mod. I use voice mod with my Go XLR.
Yeah,
my voice mod is.
I mean, I
working.
paid for a lifetime, so might as well.
Yeah, you can still use it, man,
Got
for sure.
The bass, the arm.
Oh, that's a sweet package.
Very nice.
I'm
You
like
need an upgrade,
speechless
man.
because this is literally like the last thing I wanted to buy for my setup.
Jay, don't be talking naughty like that, motherfucker. If you can't back it up.
I like your package.
I like my package too. Like I'm gonna fondle it
It's cute.
often, very often.
It's cute.
Just make sure they don't sit even.
Yeah, you don't want them.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna keep them one above the other.
Yeah.
You know what? I think
He's not sleeping. He's working.
I think it just goes right in.
Because he woke
Might.
up. Because
Yeah,
you
it
closed
might.
him.
That's what she said.
That is what you know. I've
I don't know.
I've petitioned.
But
I
it
have
might.
petitioned that we change the podcast name to "That's What She Said."
Dude.
I mean, it's not terrible.
But there's only one she, so it.
I mean,
But
I'm
every
okay with
time
it.
she says something,
Someone
mean,
says
I'm
that's what
okay
she
with
said.
Do you
I'm okay
understand
with it.
the marketing possibilities if you guys changed it to "That's What She Said"?
Yeah, but I'm
The
pretty sure-
it's already taken.
It might
I'm pretty
be.
sure that's
But it doesn't
trademarked.
matter.
And when it comes to a
It might
website,
be.
that would be horrible.
It can't be trademarked.
Would it though? Would
You'd have
it?
to check. You'd have to check.
Would it?
Babe, you have the resources to check.
the
Anybody
amount
has
of
to research.
traffic you would get there.
Although Meat Riders is trademarked.
Oh,
No, we
God.
should we change it to that's what he said.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's what she said is funnier because there is only one
It
girl.
is.
That's what they said.
No.
Okay, pronouns.
Oh boy.
There's more than one person here. Okay, it's not a pronoun.
So
It's
funny
how
story
you-
from
That's what them said.
whoever
The
said
riffraff that we would get from that, though.
That's what blank said.
Oh.
You should search and see if "That's What She Said" is actually copyrighted.
Trademark.
I think it'll come up with a bunch of stuff that will get lost in the mix.
You can actually
Wow.
start. There is an actual website where you can search for trademarks.
Yeah.
Aren't you doing it right now?
That's why
No,
I
but
Meat
seriously.
Riders.
I have a puppy in my lap.
Merc and Scap, thank you so much for
What are
this.
you doing with your hands right now, Tuna? Why can't you look it up?
Yeah, man.
Because I don't know what the fucking website
welcome.
is. She's the web designer.
Google it.
Google.
Web designer has nothing to do with trademarks.
I don't think
You're
that's
the entrepreneur.
But you know, even things as simple as girl mom is trademarked.
No
Somebody
way.
random,
Is
yes,
that
somebody random
what-
trademarked it.
Did it
So now
actually
you
get
cannot-
approved?
Yes, it
Is
is
it trademark
trademarked.
or is it
Someone
pending?
owns the trademark. Nope, someone owns the trademark.
Sometimes those things will sit pending for like years and years.
No, that one is legitimately trademarked
Because they're hoping somebody will pay money for it.
Yeah, because a bunch of people on like Etsy and stuff were making like shirts and all the things with it, and
Let's
they're
It costs
They're-
like
I-
$1,000 to trademark something.
Hold on, I'm about to share something.
About what?
I wouldn't want to know how
A
much.
trademark. A
I
trademark.
wouldn't.
Is it?
I wouldn't want to know how much the URL would be
All right, we're pulling up this.
for that's what she said.com.
Who owns this?
that I can
Brian
check.
It says it is
Callahan?
canceled due
It's
to
canceled.
Section 18. I don't know what Section 18 is,
What's
but but it might be because it's not trademarkable.
what?
I don't think it is, man.
Yeah, it says
Anything's-
status 7113 canceled section 18.
So
What
scroll,
is-
scroll
that's
down
what
a little
she
bit.
said?
Classification
Yeah.
information.
Status date of 2017. But this says statements was short or long sleeve shirts.
Hmm.
I think you guys might be in the clear.
That's to put it on a
Uh,
shirt. Yeah. That was an
That's what
application to put that on a shirt.
See what this one says.
Those are like, there's an actual
It's
website
registered.
that, yeah.
Yeah, there's an actual website that keeps trademark
Yeah,
records.
yeah.
My bad. I can't close it out.
I got it. You're good.
All right.
Yeah, there's an actual legal like website where all that stuff is registered. Absolutely. You're right.
I'm pretty sure Ashley is looking it up right now.
No, I'm not. I'm looking up the domain.
That's what she
Scap,
said.
if you when you pull my or somebody else's screen up, if you hit grid, it'll pull it down into a box the same size as us.
Yeah,
What,
but I
babe?
wanted the what we were looking at to show
Okay.
up larger, so anyone watching this later on can see what we're looking at better. Otherwise, it's
Okay.
just a tiny little box, like,
Gotcha.
hard to read,
So-
that kind of stuff.
That's what she said.com is a premium domain that you can purchase for the low price of $64,999.
I called it. I called it.
So somebody,
What about
somebody
that's what
bought
she
it.
said podcast.com.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I
somebody
mean, I'm
bought
sure you
the,
could do
the domain name, and now they're like, somebody's gonna buy this from me. And no, they're not.
This actually happens a lot, and actually, the domain companies themselves will do this, where they will park the what they call premium domains, and because they do like their algorithms tell it that it's a good domain name potential, and so they'll like buy them all up and then sell them at a premium. So no one actually owns it. It's just parked by the domain host company. Now there are some people there you can actually make money being a domain broker. So you can go out and buy domains that you think are worth money, and then it's flipping, just like you flip houses. You can flip domain. Interestingly enough, so if you buy domains that you think that people would want, for example, like I had to do Wolf and Willow design for mine because Wolf and Willow is a premium domain that someone is just holding hostage for like thousands of dollars.
But
hostage. Yeah, they hold it hostage.
Yeah, it's hostage.
Yeah.
I don't think ours is held by anybody. If we were to
It's
put
not.
holdfastoutlast.com, I don't know.
So you can tell who it's owned by. You can do there's a who is database.
Yeah.
And you can actually search for who owns a domain name, but I can tell just by going to like
I'm gonna go greet my cousin, y'all. I'll be right back.
All right.
If you go to like GoDaddy, you can type
Yeah.
it in, and if it says that you can buy it, then it's owned by a domain company. If it says that you have to brokerage it to someone else, then that means someone else owns it and they can brokerage it on your behalf. So you can just kind of tell. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I should snatch that domain name up.
Which one?
This one, if there would be one, I guess.
Yeah, you should.
Which one?
The name of our
Holdfast
podcast.
Oh, Holdfast
I know
Outlet.
it's an SEO
did you
thing,
look it up?
like something
You
that
should.
people would, let's make it searchable and neat. But I think if you do enough getting things out there, you don't need that to like try to game an algorithm. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
you can
you
get
should definitely
holdfastoutlast.com for a penny for the first year if you do a 2-year registration.
So I'll probably do it then. And that's on what, GoDaddy?
I just found it on GoDaddy.
I'll just do it then. I'm just gonna snatch it up, I guess.
I mean, we know a website.
I'm
designer.
cutting this part out of the podcast so no one that potentially listens goes, fuck these guys, I'm going to get this thing.
So if you need to know anything about domains and stuff, that is kind of, even though I'm a web designer, that is kind of in my realm because I help people
Yeah.
with, domains and stuff like that. So
I should just
If
snatch
you
it
want
up
a
and
domain
put
flip,
a picture of it.
look for up and coming comedians and take those.
That's effed
Just
up,
registered
dude.
it.
fair,
Jason just
though.
registered it.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do that.
Loser.
Like, could you imagine if you were the person that sat on MattStrife.com with how he's blowing up, or
Oh, yeah.
or like
Matt
say
Rife?
Joe Rogan didn't have his
I can
yeah.
tell. Let me see.
Rife,
Rife.
isn't it Rife? It's Rife.
Rife.
I think it's Rife. Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah. That's like his
We
name.
tried to get-
I bet
dude.
it's taken.
Oh, it is now, but I'm pretty sure he told a story about, or one of the comics told a story about how somebody sat on
Wait,
their domain for a little bit.
Jay's Naughty Wood is worth more. $2.99.
$2.99 for the
The
first
fuck?
year.
You're a whole $2 more than us?
$2.98.
This is bullshit, dude.
Oh
Like,
man, that is something cool. We should all look up like our gamer tags, or what are Skeptile, American X Rebel.
I actually
Army
own
Guy,
mine.
and see what they would be worth.
I have Daily Piece of Ash.
Wait, you can look that stuff up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
You're
let's
like how
check.
much your domain would be.
I
You
can
have to
look
buy
yours
it.
up. Yeah.
What is it on?
What site you? Oh, you're the greatest.
GoDaddy.
You can look it up through any. I just GoDaddy is easy.
They know.
Mine's $2.99 for the
OnlyHeRose.com.
first year. Also,
OnlyHeRose, a penny for the first year with a 2-year registration.
Yes.
Why is mine in like Korean? Why is this in a different
Skeptile?
India?
That's what
Why am I an
Scorpion
GoDaddy
and
India?
Reptile were. They were Japanese or
Ooh,
what
yeah.
was it, Korean?
No, I'm looking
Skeptile.
up. Yeah, I know it is. I tried to get it once before.
He's like, I know.
I tried to get it before. Yeah.
Do you know who owns it? Did you look?
Why am I in GoDaddy India? Why? I type GoDaddy.com and it takes me to India. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm gonna find out.
Do you have your toy turned on? That's why.
I don't have a VPN turned on or anything. I probably should. Never mind. I do have a VPN turned on. Don't listen to that. No, no DDoSing. Let me turn it on. No DDoSing. No getting my IP address. I looked GoDaddy.com, click on the official site. It takes me to India. What? Why? This doesn't make any sense.
So, Skep, yours is owned by Pork Bun LLC.
Pork bun?
Yep.
Oh,
What kind of
yours
fucking
is
name is
owned,
that?
so that's valuable right there.
And now
Yeah,
it took
yours-
me to Spain. What
Yours
is
is
this?
owned by an LLC. That's even more valuable.
I don't even care. This Skeptile is just an escape for me. That's my stream.
See, you need to rebrand to Skep Daddy.
You might come get
Skep,
him.
bro.
Oh, Pork Bun is actually just another domain registrar.
Definitely has some hidden sexual innuendos to it.
Why is
What
everything
are you
in rupees?
doing, step bro?
Here, baby.
Why is everything in rupees? I don't get it.
No more vodka. So you got.
Oh my gosh. My internet is chalked.
Over there running that
I'm just gonna-
VPN.
No.
It's got you. It's got you in the grasp.
Exposed.
I don't even.
What was his name? Somebody called Triple B, Bad Boy Beeman.
Oh yeah, please do. Doesn't do what you think it does.
Yeah. Yours is owned by porkbun.com, which is just another domain registrar.
So they probably bought it thinking somebody would want it.
I went to domain.com.
You can make an offer.
Add it to cart.
You have to, like, use
$11.99.
Ooh,
It renews at $9.73.
$2 years is $23.98 on domain.com.
I feel like Bumblebee with his being 8s kind of messed up the for a domain.
We actually have his
Price.
too. I own his as Bumblebee too. With the
Like
eight,
if it was
though.
if it was just the bees, it would probably have been a little bit more expensive.
Why do you only get it for
Or
a
if
specific
anything.
amount of years, though?
You have to renew it every year.
Yeah.
It's an annual registration.
Oh, this one says 2 year, or I can buy for 5 years for $60.
Yeah, you can pay for like upfront if you want, but it's one of those things you have to continuously renew.
Yep.
Otherwise, it expires.
There you go. There you go, Jay.
What? Ash?
No.
Jay, do I pay for my Yes, domains are paid for yearly.
Okay.
They're usually very inexpensive though. So like, I pay
not
for
bad.
my Wolf and Willow design. I pay like $20 a year.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's like
You'll
$10
pay more for your You'll pay more
per
for your
year.
hosting than you do your actual
Yeah,
domain.
the hosting's expensive.
I think I'm gonna get it probably when we're done, and then start doing something with it. I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, just hold on to it. We can always like build a website for it later.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it'd be
We
good,
can do
like
like
a
a
hub
blog.
spot, and like put some
Mhm.
embeds in it, and you know,
So
links.
if we did it on Show It, the platform that I design on, like it links to a WordPress blog, and we can put all of link all of our episodes and everything to
Put some
that.
bios up there and all that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do a lot. When
Guest
Verdansk
bios.
first came out, I
Yeah.
built my own Warzone Pro-Am and built the whole site and all that stuff.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And you can do a lot of things with it.
Goes
Just
into what
depends.
thing, Jay?
Yeah, it just depends on your creative capacity.
I know Ash
said-
is the creative website designer.
I can help with that.
You said you
Oh, yeah.
started in Blackout. I think that's pretty much where we all started streaming was through Blackout. I fell in love with the game after they came out with the down but not out mode
Oh yeah, yeah.
because I couldn't stand the BR. I would die instantly and then have to wait 10 minutes to load in another one because I had shitty
I hated
Wi-Fi,
that.
you know.
Oh, that's the worst.
So the down but not out inspired, and then Alcatraz came out, and then
Yeah,
Hot
Alcatraz is
Pursuit and Heavy Metal
Hot
Heroes.
Pursuit. The Heavy Metal Heroes is one of my favorite.
But
Blackout?
I came obsessed with the game, and I was like, I got to go. I knew about Justin TV a long time ago. My account's actually longer than Twitch itself because I was signed up for Justin TV. So I went to Justin TV and it kept sending me to Twitch. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna check out Twitch, and I was like, because I gotta get better at this game. I'm gonna look at these guys and see what they're doing, and that's where first person I watched was TP. Then TP went off, and then I saw somebody said FaZe Clan on it, and I've heard FaZe Clan, so I watched him. It was Censor. Censor started playing with Bobby Poff.
Yep.
And then like Bobby Poff like became my favorite. And then I started streaming. I was like, man.
You were modding for Bobby for a while, weren't you, Rebel?
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I started streaming with Blackout as well. I didn't start Twitch or anything before that or Justin TV, but I was growing pretty steadily, and then Doug is Raw hosted me.
Oh, Doug!
After I ran into him in a game and completely changed the trajectory. I think when I stepped away, I was averaging around 40 viewers.
Nice.
It was me, and I was playing with like Joe Woe and Exact and Otter and all those guys, and then
Joe Woe is not somebody that Joe Woe's became like huge in Warzone, not Blackout.
Yep.
He was still like kind of medium of a streamer in Blackout.
Yeah. I think Zach was, because Zach hosted me back when he was like averaging around 45 to 50 viewers. That was like 2019, but he went up pretty fast. Like he popped off because of what he was doing in the game, and then like Joe was in the scene there too, but he was kind of like just under that threshold, with Zach. But yeah, I used to watch those dudes all the time, man. Run into them in games all the time back when you could actually run into people like that in games.
Yeah.
I see their names. I'm like, they're coming to the red barn. I'm just going to like do a 360 off this roof because they're going to kill me anyways. So
I remember running into Priesta.
Yeah.
It was Priesta, Gangstas.
Oh, Jason? Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. And two other pros. I can't remember exactly who they were. And we had like two of them downed, and one of them was one shot, and then Gangstas wiped us all.
Yeah,
out of all the pros, Gangstas wiped us all.
He was good, man.
I was starstruck when I saw that I downed Priesta. I was like, "Oh my god!" That was like the only pro I knew at the time, other than like TP and stuff. Like he was the first pro I knew of.
Oh, what I really enjoyed about Blackout is, one, there wasn't a true skill-based matchmaking in it, but it allowed you time to interact with your chat. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing ranked this season, grinding it pretty good. I want to get to iridescent. But after I play it for a handful of hours and I get off, I am so mentally exhausted because you have to be on non-stop. And so, but with Blackout, you could wipe a quad. My thing was, and what got me known is I would play solo quads. I wouldn't have teammates. And I would just be killing quads. And then I started playing in tournaments. But it allowed me time in between wiping quads to interact with chat and build that community and be silly and all that stuff where your focus was intermittent versus such a consistent, heavy focus.
Yeah.
Like I need a damn nap after I stream and play Warzone ranked. Like it wears me out.
Yeah, it definitely takes it out of you because you're so on it all the time.
Yeah.
Blackout meant so much to me that I made my daughter paint me her artistic representation of the Blackout.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was sweet. I was going to ask you about that.
The Black Ops 4. Yeah.
That was a fun game, man. I missed it for sure.
Yeah, it was very good.
It was very
my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. Black Ops 4 was my favorite multiplayer, hands down.
God, we used to play Alcatraz all the time. I remember.
Oh, and Alcatraz was my first BR. Well, I don't know. Blackout. Was it Blackout? Blackout was first and then Alcatraz, right? Or was it vice versa?
My very first clip is an Alcatraz clip.
Alcatraz came a little later. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Alcatraz came later, way later.
Blackout was my first BR. Prior to that, I was multi. I had played multi for years.
Oh yeah, I was COD 3, COD 4.
Yeah, but Black Ops 4 was my favorite.
Yeah. I started with World at War, but I thought it was a Medal of Honor title. So I bought it, I played it, and then I didn't even game until Black Ops 3. And then I loved Black Ops 3. And then Black Ops 4, I bought Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, played those, didn't like them. World War II was pretty good.
Yeah,
I stopped playing BO3 for World War II, and then BO4 just took over my life.
You know what else we used to play a lot was zombies?
Yeah.
We could play zombies for hours upon hours, and then I feel like they overcomplicated zombies. It started becoming so overcomplicated.
It's all Easter egg and secret. You got to look up. You got to look up how to do things, and you couldn't just like go in there and just play it.
Kill zombies. Yeah.
Black Ops 4 was.
I mean, that's a fun element, but it shouldn't be like the main focus of it. You know, like it was fun.
They turned it into a puzzle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to like look for Easter eggs to get special shit, but like don't make the game dependent on it.
Yeah. Don't make it surrounding that completely. Like just give it that mindless zombie shooting too.
Yeah, I miss just going in there, blocking off windows and shooting zombies and lasting as long as you can. Like that was
that was a vibe.
Yeah.
And Activision, if you're listening, having to find a rebreather to go unlock a secret room that has really nothing in it is not a good Easter egg.
It's not the way.
I've really been trying to. I've thought about I just want to be a project manager at Activision to help these jabrones understand what it takes to push out a good ass game.
Like play the game. That's all you have to do is be a part of the community and play the game, and you'll know what.
Are we screaming at a wall here? What are we doing?
I think the greatest competitive game ever created, and I may be a little biased, but the greatest competitive game ever created is Halo 3. And I say that because they had a flawless ranking system of people love numbers, not this damn diamond, iridescent, they love numbers. It was 1 through 50, and you had duo, doubles, snipers, team slayer, MLG if you wanted to play like the pros, and then they had the social. I have some of my friends that don't have a 5 KD like me and can't play like me. So when they come into my lobbies, they get their shit kicked in, and they're like, "Kevin, what is this?" And so I can't play with them. And then if I make a Smurf account, it'll get banned instantly.
Yeah.
So whereas if there are social playlists with no skill-based matchmaking, we can have a beer and chill, and I can play with my homies, and then I can save my sweaty gameplay for all my guys that are pros and that are actually good, invested in the game. Halo 3 was the greatest masterpiece in terms of satisfying the general gamer and the competitive players. Why no one has ever followed that, I have no idea. But no one complained about that game.
There needs to be like another section of people like the rest of us, not you, that we're slightly above average. Slightly.
Yeah.
You know, and we get
playing.
fucked.
Yeah.
Because we're above average, we get fucked in the skill-based matchmaking, man.
Yeah, the old dad gamers get on after working a 12-hour shift and like getting their crap pushed in by.
Well, I think that's
like
just
if
why
you have
you should
like
have
a 1 KD, you're in with
social ranked and just. I mean, it's tricky, man. You know, it's a tricky thing.
But everything. I mean, you guys know this as well as anybody else. It's all damn business.
Oh yeah,
and
it's all
whatever
how to
drives
make a dollar.
money. Yeah, exactly. But what I always say is you trade a short-sighted, limited, finite success or monetary gain versus the long haul. Like if they could have kept like Warzone 1 with the movement of Caldera and everything, but rotated in Verdansk and with the Rebirth Island and all that stuff, just had rotations of maps. I mean, PUBG does it. I used to be a competitive PUBG player.
Apex does it.
You can, Apex does it. And I love Apex. Like it can be done, but they want new skins and all that shit. And like, it's just because all the little kids with the damn parents' credit cards that know how to do that. And you're like, oh, mommy, I need this. Dad, I need this. No, the hell you don't. Educate your parents on what you're actually doing, and they'll realize. And I only say this because Mandy's son is 10, and he had a Fortnite thing on every month, a subscription. I was like, baby, he don't need that. She's like, what? I started educating her on this, and I'm like, his little ass don't need all that. Like
it's a
he's
free
getting
game.
Yeah. And so but that's that. You have enough kids or players or adults that think that way, and like,
Kev, are you reading chat at all? Do you have chat up? I don't know if you do or not.
I do have it up. Wow, what's up? How's it going? Hey, Sherry.
Hey, let's.
She's another one that thinks I look like Adam Levine.
Let's take like 5. This will be our halfway point. It should be about our halfway point. We break it up into sections, so let's take like 2 to 5 minutes or something. Like stretch, get up, use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. You know, and then you guys make sure you stick around for episode 7 part 2 with OnlyHeRose.